Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another wonderful panel discussion for our first day of the third annual Black Family Homeschool Educators and Scholars Teach-In. So good to have you all here. Today, the session that you're joined is titled Homeschooling While Single, right? That sounds like a movie. Like single white female, right? Homeschooling while single. And so I'm sure you're going to learn so much from these incredible guests. If you were part of our welcome this morning, you got a little sneak preview as both of them talked about what they're going to be sharing today. But just a reminder, if you weren't at our teaching, I have a really short bio because I'm going to shut my mouth and let them take over. But our guests include Jae Carter and Jade Weatherington. Jae Carter is a former public school 12th grade English teacher who currently homeschools her two little ladies, ages 5 and 8, and she recently launched a homeschool app called Homeschool Yo Kids, right? I need a theme song immediately for that. And then we have Jade Weatherington. Many of you know Jade already from if you've attended our teach-ins in the past, but she is a small business owner and a homeschool mother of one. She started her homeschool journey at the request of her daughter in the process of figuring out how to homeschool as a single parent and work. She decided entrepreneurship was the path that would best serve her. She then turned her side hustle into a business. Jade has an eclectic world schooling approach and loves helping families figure out how they can homeschool too. And she, as I said, she was a speaker in our teaching last year, and she was a sponsor the first year. So welcome, Jay and Jade, and I turn it over to you.
Thank you. When people introduce me, I always feel like I'm more important than I really am. That was really good. Thank you so much. So this is my first time meeting Jay. So hi, Jay. Nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you.
We could start by just like sharing our own journey into homeschooling as single parents. And I'll also add, like, even though we're talking about homeschooling as single parents, it's not limited to you being a single parent, because I meet a lot of families where they have dual parent households and they're like, I'm a single parent, I'm doing this by myself. So even if you have a partner, you might feel, or you might not even feel, you know that you are doing the homeschooling by yourself. So I guess we'll open it up by sharing our own journey. So Jay, you want to kick us off? How did you start your homeschool journey?
Well, like Ms. Khadija said in the intro, I used to be a 12th grade English teacher. And so seeing the end of the road for 13 years of public school education, well, let me back up. Before I even had kids, I would tell people that I was going to homeschool my kids because I've been in education for 14 years. I subbed for 8 years, and then I had my own classroom for 6 years. So before I even had kids, seeing how the school system worked, seeing how the kids were in the classroom, just seeing everything. I said, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna homeschool my kids. And it's before mine were in existence. So actually being given the opportunity after the shutdown, that's what definitely, because I thought elementary was gonna be cool. I really did. Even when I did talk about homeschooling, I said, oh, well, I'll let them go through elementary, but middle school, they at home, they coming home with me. But my daughter's experience in first grade, I didn't like it. I didn't like the teacher. She was kind of bullying type of deal as far as with me, because I wasn't doing things that she wanted me to do with us being at home with the shutdown, but I was still teaching also in my own class. So it was just a lot. And my daughter received on her report card that she never knew. And like my child doesn't know what a report card is. She never seen a report card. We never talked about a report card, but she received a D in reading and science. And science one is her favorite thing to do. She loves experiments and she loves all that good stuff. And reading, we had been excelling because she's been at home with me. And so we were able to do a lot of one-on-one. So when that came about, I was like, oh, wait, she's tripping. And so we had a little conversation, and I let her know, like, we're not gonna play this game because that stunts individuals' growth. I see what happens. I had 12th graders reach me reading on the 3rd grade level. So I understand the dangers of elementary school as far as labeling, as far as presenting different like theories as far as how a child can learn or what they're able to do. And so I just saw a lot of damaging factors with my students in general. And I didn't want my girls to be a part of that at all, especially not my 5-year-old, because she was already so bright. And so once the shutdown happened, it just opened up that gateway to, oh, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go ahead and do this. And so I jumped on out the window and I resigned the year after, which last year was my last school year in the classroom. We moved to Arizona from Virginia and been kicking it ever since. I tell people though, it was not all glitter and gold. It really was not. When we first moved here, I had a lot of healing that I needed to jumpstart for myself because the last school year was a lot on me. It was a lot. I had 157 students on my roster. I was carrying so much from other households that I didn't need to be carrying. I was carrying things from my family that I didn't need to be carrying. And so when we first started, I used to threaten them at least once a week that I was going to send them to public school. I said, I'm going to send y'all to public school. Y'all going to public school. But it never happened, of course. And now those threats are way less, you know, and like once every other month. But it's been a journey and I love it. And the girls love it. They speak on homeschooling. They try to get their friends in it because they do karate and stuff. So they'll be telling their, yeah, my mom has a homeschool app. You can tell your mom so you can homeschool. It's like, baby, it ain't that easy. They have to want to, like their parents have to want to do it also. But it's a beautiful journey. It really is. And I appreciate them rocking with me as hard as they do with what we're doing, because I know we're showing different and we're just changing the whole narrative of homeschooling in general. But it's been beautiful and I'm a hush, so you go ahead.
But I felt all of that. I felt it all. So I'll give my little brief background, but while I do that, if y'all can go ahead and put in the chat box the age of your children. There's gonna be a lot of questions. The age of your children, if you're currently homeschooling or if you're planning on homeschooling, and then like your biggest obstacle, like the biggest obstacle or challenge that you're having with homeschooling or starting your homeschool journey. And I guess those are some of the things that we will go ahead and touch on. So I'm gonna try to keep the story brief, y'all. So I was teaching in the public school system, and I was like, I'm changing the world. I'm gonna go in here and change all this. You get in there like, you're not changing nothing. This is what you're gonna follow. This is what you're gonna do. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was burnt out before I even really got to start. And so this whole time while I'm thinking I'm about to dismantle this system, I still put my child in it. Like I still placed her in a place that I knew was detrimental to her existence, right? So she had a really bad preschool teacher. She loved her, but I knew better. She had amazing kindergarten teachers. I'm talking about we still go out and have lunch together. Like they were absolutely amazing. So homeschool still wasn't a thought. When she got to first grade, another terrible teacher. They wanted to accelerate my baby. And I was like, yeah, do it. They want to do it in kindergarten. I was like, emotionally, socially, she's not ready. But her first grade teacher was so bad. I was like, please do. Because she was in all these pull outs. I'm like, just go ahead, put her in second grade. Some months go by, I'm asking about the testing. The teacher's lying to me, telling me that she's done the testing. I talked to the social worker. My daughter's never taken a test. So she sits up in a room with me, the principal, and a couple other people, and basically says, I know what I'm supposed to do when I need to hold them back. I don't know what I'm supposed to do to challenge them. And I had a moment like, you're really putting your child through this. This is the system you're putting your baby through. And she came home one day, her little fist was balled up, and she was mad because she had already told everybody she was going to go to the second grade, and she was still in the first grade. So she's like, why can't you just homeschool me? And I say this all the time. The girl said it with an attitude, like the type of attitude that might get you in trouble with your mama if you take that tone with her. But I really paused and I was like, okay, you know what, you're right. And then I was already teaching online as a side hustle. Like that was a side hustle Khadijah was talking about. I was doing it as a side hustle. And like I'm saying, everything dawned on me at once. Like I already make money online. My baby wants to be homeschooled. I'm tired of working. Like I was working a lot of jobs, like a whole lot of side jobs. So I quit all the jobs and only started teaching online, which now like 5 years later, it's my business. I don't even teach anymore. I have teachers that teach my curriculum for me. So that's how that came about. So I know I get a lot of questions from parents that want to homeschool. They're like, well, how am I supposed to do it if I'm the only parent and I'm working? And now if you're working inside the home, it's a little bit easier, but I understand like the struggle of saying, well, I have to leave. Who's going to be with my child while I have to go to work? So that's the long story short version of how I came to homeschooling. We are moving into our 7th year, and I almost got a little teary-eyed about this early, and I was trying to control myself, but my baby's gonna be in high school next year. She's gonna be dual enrolled. I'm like, high school and college? Like, how did you get here? You was just my little baby boo. So I'm in a place right now. I'm all types of emotional. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop over in the chat and see what y'all have put in here as far as these obstacles in the ages of your children. I'm scrolling through them right now. Oh, but before we get to that, how many of for those of you that are homeschooling, how many of y'all have threatened, like by a show of hands or thumbs ups and your little emoji thing? How many of y'all had told y'all children y'all send them back to school? Okay, I see it. All right, so I said I'm gonna scroll back up through these chats. Okay, so we got some of our first yearers here. I'm just making words up as I go. You can do that when you homeschool. So the challenge is energy and interest, getting outside and collaborating with like-minded people, consistency. Let's start with those. And also, like, if you want to engage and share your stuff too, feel free to. So how do you keep the energy and the interest there? Jay, what are you doing to keep your, you said 5 and 8, right?
5 and 8, yes. Okay. I tell people all the time, I'm just trying to keep up with them. They are balls of energy from out the gate. When talking to homeschool parents or parents that are interested in homeschooling, I always tell them self-care is very important. Like making sure that you're good for the day and starting out your day right. So that you have that energy and everything that you need to put into them once they get to going. My girls are up about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I'm up at like 5:30 because I value time to myself. And I know once they're up, that's it. Like, it's out the gate, they ready. But we start, our day starts with yoga. Like, we start with stretching and doing some yoga, and we don't even have desks and everything. Like, I always see people's learning areas and they're so sophisticated and all that good stuff. And that's why I told, like, we're here to like change the narrative, the mode and all that, because I've seen what public school is like, and I know that's not a model to follow. So I never try to incorporate that at my home. We have an area which I'm sitting in now, which is called the forest, because we have a green little throw rug on the ground. And so when I'm like ready to sit down with them, I tell them, meet me in the forest. So we start with some yoga. We start with books. We have different little fun facts as far as health related things we go over every day. But my girls like to play games and do puzzles. So we do a lot of that. They do Legos. They're at 5 and 8. So our learning is definitely a lot of hands-on and a lot of just going with the flow. But the main thing is just showing them how proud you are and putting in them to be proud of what all they're taking in. Because the more they learn and the more they love learning, the more they want to do it. We'll be riding in the car and they ask for math problems. We'll be riding in the car at a stoplight and they asking me to ask them how to spell words. And I'm just trying to think about this lovely traffic I'm in and trying to make my way through here, but they want words to spell. So I'm like, okay, I love it because they are loving learning. And that's the main thing, just to keep them loving to learn, loving to take it all in. And yeah, like I said, I don't follow the school model because I know that model isn't for us. So it's really easy for me to just go with the flow of the day and wherever our learning takes us. They like to do a lot of cooking. So of course that's incorporating math and them problem solving themselves, because my 8-year-old reads most of the directions and everything to them. So it's just believing in them and building confidence in themselves. Like, it's not oh, are you proud of me about this? Are you proud of you about this? just, yeah, things of that nature.
I'm gonna kind of add to that. When you said cooking is probably like one of our biggest homeschool things. We cook together, and I since she was 4, I've been taking her to the grocery store, and I'll make her grocery shop first to start off for the weekend. I'm like, you got $30 to buy enough food for the weekend. And now, you know, prices are higher, so I can't give her $30 for a week worth of food. But so that's where we started off. I'm like, okay, you have to decide what we're gonna eat. You have to decide the meal. So a lot of the stuff that we do is everyday things where she doesn't even realize she's learning. You're measuring, that's math. My favorite part is the assessment. Let me taste this. If it's good, you pass. If you fail, try again. So it's like a whole lot of everyday things being a part of the homeschool. Now, I did see a lot of questions in there about teenagers. So when my daughter was younger, like around 7, 8, and 9, keeping her interested in homeschooling was, I think it was easier, but I still had a lot of push and pull because I'm mama and I'm also now the teacher. So I would make her, I don't want to say I made her do it, but I did. I would make her own schedule. So she would make her own schedule. And that was her being accountable for herself. That means she had to take responsibility for her education. So when I'm like, hey, it's time to do your math, and she's like, I don't want to do math right now. I don't feel like doing math. Oh, you wrote this down. I didn't tell you that you had to do math at 10:10. You said you want to do math at 10:10, Monday through Thursday. So I gave her back some of that power that they take away from you when you're in school. And that's how we kind of got through those first few years. Now that she's older, it's, I feel sometimes, I'm gonna ask you, how many of y'all feel like y'all messing y'all's kids up with homeschooling them? Like, how many of you have had that feeling like, oh no, I'm doing this wrong, I'm messing them up? Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Okay, so I feel like that a lot. So even though my daughter decided that she wants to be dual enrolled, she went to the library, she did all the research, she wrote an essay, she told me how she was gonna do it. And I'm like, okay, we're on the right track. We got it. But there's days where she doesn't want to do anything. And that's because I've given her so much freedom. I've given her so much where I'm like, hey, you get to decide what you want to do. But then I'm like, yo, but you're missing some stuff that you need to do. And then I had to question myself, do you really need this? Like, is it really a requirement? Does she really need to learn this information? Because it's not, she can't apply it to her real life. I don't apply a lot of the stuff that I want her to learn to my like real everyday life. But I have these ideas about what education is supposed to be, how it's supposed to look, and what she's supposed to learn. So a lot of that works out with the interest, letting them focus on what they're interested in, and then kind of pulling in other parts that are still related to that topic. So when she was younger, she really loved dogs. So she wrote a book about dogs, got it published and everything. But every time she wanted to learn something, I had to figure out, how do I tie animals into this? It got really tedious. I was tired of it. I'm like, I know so much about dogs. I could be the person who owns the dog hotel that she wants to own in the future. So finding things that they're interested in and then giving them some of that autonomy to do it the way that they want to do it. That has worked for me. I'm not gonna say it's gonna work for everyone, but that is something that I would recommend to help them stay interested from like a young age up into these teenage years. All right, and I'm scrolling back through these on the chat box. All right, I'm seeing a lot of questions about working outside of the home and starting your own business. So Jay, I want to hear more about this app and also how you're making it happen. How are you working?
Oh, well, the app is the app right now, because I DoorDash, I Instacart, I do things outside of the home. So that I knew that question would come up. And I like how you asked, you said that you make grocery shopping a part of your lessons. My girls are with me during that time. They're with me with the Instacart, they're with me with the DoorDash, they're with me with all of that, because we are together always. So I feel like when you get aligned with what you are purposed to do, everything always comes as it needs to. I've written articles as far as working and whatnot to get paid for that type of deal. But the app came about, I originally started working on a workbook. But then I said, oh, you have to get with the times. Like, people ain't trying to buy no workbook. People ain't trying to read like that. So I thought about the digital process. And so I went about creating and pretty much transferring all the stuff I had put in the workbook into the app, into an app. The Homeschool app is purposed for all families, whether you're a veteran or a new homeschooling family. It's mainly a resource of all resources. So I have blogs up there, podcasts, I have curriculum, I have job opportunities. I get a weekly or daily email from a young lady. I can't give you her name right now. However, I do have her link on my app where you can see a bunch of remote jobs. So if you want to work at home and you feel like that's what you need to get started, is a job at home, look on this remote listing. She has so many job listings as far as being able to do it at home. I'm so adamant about not entering back into the classroom or a professional work field in general that, like I said, I DoorDash, not Instacart, because that serves where I am at right now with my life. Because I'm just so against systems in general right now that I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm about to thug this out, and it's been working. So we're gonna keep thugging until whatever is next for us becomes next for us. And so I appreciate my little ladies and all that they present when we're in the store. Like the grocery store, people know them. I went to the grocery store without them like 2 days ago, and I had 2 cashiers and the produce man ask where they were. So that's why I always trip out about the socialization factor of homeschool that people feel like isn't there. Like, no, your child's going to be as social as you allow them to be. Are you social? I used to tell when my 8-year-old was 2 and 3, tell her, because my mom was real big on it, don't have her talking to strangers. Don't have her talking to strangers. One day this little girl hit me with, but you talk to strangers. And I do. She is absolutely correct. I talk to everyone. I love people in general. And that's why I want people to be able to experience the freedom of homeschooling and understanding that you are qualified to do it, because it wouldn't have came to you if you weren't. So understand that these young people came through you for a reason, and you are meant to be their guide. And so my app, once again, back to the original question, is that motivation, is that inspiration, is showing you all that is in you already. It's just you have to pull it out, and you have to believe in yourself. Because as a former public school teacher, I will tell you, your route will be better. The route that you take your young learner on will be better. So trust in yourself, believe that you can, and keep going. Just keep going forward, because the answers will come to you. That's why you're here today, to get more answers, to get more resources, to get more understanding, to grow more. And we are always supposed to be learning and growing. That is what this life is about, to keep learning and growing. And I'm quick to tell my kids, oh, I don't know, like, let's look it up, and we'll look it up together. You don't have to know all the answers, but you can know how to look them up. You can know how to find them, and you can find them together. So yeah, I'm here for it all.
So we're also going to discuss, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, because I want to come back to the question that was over in the chat box. How to get your children involved with others that look like them, and also look like questions about scheduling. So I want to add something to that. So I live between Georgia and Atlanta, and at one point we were back in Minnesota for almost a year. I was getting my house renovated, and I was looking up the different homeschool communities. If you know anything about Minnesota, there's not a lot of this happening up there, right? So I was in a Black homeschool Facebook group, and I absolutely recommend using Facebook. Find those groups, find your city. If you can find one that's specific to your city, you're going to find your village, even if it's to your state, if you're willing to travel. But there was no Black homeschool group, so we created one. When I said I was in that Facebook group every weekend, me and my baby gonna be here this weekend. Y'all gonna pop up? Who wants to come and do something? Until they were like, yeah, let's do it. So it started off with 4 families. It grew. There's now 20 families. I'm not there anymore, but there's 20 families, and they meet regularly. Like, they have this schedule. So if you're concerned about how do I get my children involved with other people, you got to put in some legwork. You're already exhausted, but you don't do it. So you go out there, you do it, you find these families, you connect with them, and it doesn't have to be daily. It doesn't have to be weekly. I might only meet once a month at the library or at the park, but it's not just for your kids, it's for you too. Because when you get around these other homeschool parents, y'all talk. We talk. I sit there, I vent my face off. Like, let me tell y'all what I'm dealing with. And then to find out they're dealing with the same thing is kind of empowering, because you're not by yourself. So I always try to say, like, find your village, stay connected with them. And then as far as scheduling, like, when I was working, when my daughter was younger, it was a little bit more challenging because she's young. She wants all of me. She wants all my attention. So I had these headphones, and I don't even use headphones, but she knew if those headphones were on, I was working. Like, this means you cannot interrupt me. You can't bother me. You can't ask me a question. But once these headphones are off, I'm all yours. So that was the system that we put in place. And then it was homeschooling in the morning, homeschooling in the evening. When I say I'm an eclectic homeschool, it's because our schedule changes all the time. I don't have a set. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, Jay, go ahead. Tell us, what do you, how
Yeah. No, the schedule, I even put that on the app. It says, does the schedule work for you? Is that something that you actually need? Because I'm a freestyler. I tell people I'm a freestyle, go with the flow, where the wind gonna take us. Let's see. Like, okay, what's today gonna hold? I'm always excited about the day because I never know what direction it's gonna go in. And I just like to go with the flow. And that works for me and my young ladies. However, there are people that need schedules. So that's why I said, does a schedule work for your family? Because the biggest thing about home learning is that it's for your family. It's not about anyone else's journey. It's about what works for your house. So I think a lot of people get caught up in oh, well, it should look like this, or it should look like this. No, it shouldn't. It should look like whatever works for you and your family. It should look like whatever works for you and your child. It shouldn't look like no one else's. Instagram makes a lot of things look good and everything and all this wonderful stuff going on. However, that may not work for you. And I've created a whole app, and I can tell people for a fact, like, you come and look at our journey and see what we're doing, you're like, dang, okay. Like, because we chill. But my girls, they're amazing. I don't have any doubt on this journey that this journey is for us. We're trying to be done at like 14. I told them we got goals, we got things to do. And if you talk to them, my 8-year-old says she's moving to Los Angeles at 10. This is how smart she feels she already is. I said, Dad, so you feel like you're going to be done learning everything you need to learn by 10? And she's like, yeah. I said, okay. My 5-year-old, on the other hand, who still loves me so dearly, is not ready to get away from me, was like, I'm going to wait till I'm 13 and I'm going to go to Vegas. Because these are two places that we recently have went to. So that's what's on their head. Like, oh, well, I'm going to go move here. I'm going to go move here. We're in Arizona. The fact that they want to move anywhere without me in general lets me know that I'm doing it right, because our job is not to have these young people be dependent on us. They need to be able to understand and they know that they can exist without us. And they thrive. They're so intelligent. It makes no sense. I just love them. And that's why I try to keep up with them, because they push me to keep growing. They push me to keep wanting more. They're amazing. And I love the examples that I am able to show to them, because my 8-year-old talks about creating an app. She wants to create a game for an app. Like, this is because our kids are our greatest imitators. So everything that we're doing, they're seeing it. I've written a book. Hey, who wants to write a book? They do. Like, they're watching you and they want to do what you're doing, as that should be the case. Like, your kids you should be their first hero. You should be the one that they want to model after. But it also comes with, how are you talking to them? How are you showing them? Are you showing as opposed to telling? I do a lot of showing. I don't do a lot of telling. I show them and I let them experience things in their own natural sense, because they're very smart. And I never try to downplay where they're at in their life because I'm bigger or I'm older, I've had more years here. Like, no, we in this together. We're learning together. We're growing together. And I stress that all the time. We are growing together. This is a together thing. So I never wanted to be, because I'm an adult, like I know the answers. It's, what can you teach me? Show me. Do that. Like, I'm always putting it back on them. They'll ask me something. Well, what do you think? No, but what do you think? So if a schedule works for you, then a schedule works for you. I tell you, we start with yoga. We start our day around 10 o'clock. And we're done with actually being in the forest. Told y'all our learning area is the forest. We're done being in the forest by like noon. And then we experience the rest of our learning throughout the day, throughout all our experiences that we go on outside. We spend a lot of time outside. We love the park. We love going on nature walks. my 8-year-old is a animal. I felt you, Jade, with the dog. She recently said she wants to be a veterinarian. She wants to be a superstar. She wants to be a scientist, an app developer. She has a whole list of things, but I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to keep up. I listen to what she says she wants to be, and I try to guide her in that direction. And if that direction switches and turns another way, then we go that way. But it's just about what works for you and your family and your children and how you're trying to grow them to be all that they are meant to be, not what you're envisioning them to be or what someone else say they need to be. It's about what you see or what you know and what they're showing you that they are purpose for here, because we all have a reason why we're here.
Okay. All right. So good answer. Also, there's another question over here in the chat box that we're going to go ahead and answer, and I lost it, so let me scroll back through here. I did want to mention one thing. So it says my son only wants to watch YouTube and play video games. He's into animation, makes video games and cartoons. Like let that be the driving force. Sign him up for some classes. Let him learn how to do it professionally. So this question here: have you had financial and time struggles as a single parent? How have you navigated around that? Many people think you can't homeschool if you are single. Are your children's other parents involved? The parent involved? But also I want to ask in the chat box for everyone else, how many of you are business owners, are considering starting your own business so that you can homeschool full time or make it easier? So finances. Khadijah mentioned earlier, she's like, oh, Jay comes with the humble brag. I do. The only reason I talk about my income is because I want people to know it's possible. There are so many things that I didn't think were possible because I wasn't doing it, and I didn't see people around me doing it. So my first month making $10,000, I was working 10 hours. I worked less than 10 hours a week, and I was teaching online. Every class that I developed to teach online started off from what I was already teaching my child. So we already possess the skill. We're teaching our child something. We're teaching our children something. That's something that can become income. And it doesn't have to be academic. My first classes weren't academic classes. They were arts and craft classes. I don't have a background in arts. I just know how to cut stuff up and glue things together. So that was the first class. And then we had a yoga class. I got 3 yoga moves. That's it. All we did in that class was those 3 yoga moves. And then as she got older, I'm like, you know what, you need to work on your writing. That was already my skill set. So I created my writing courses, and it started to develop because, like I said, now I have enough teachers to teach my curriculum that I've created that all I'm doing is scheduling and payroll and marketing. So as far as financial struggles, I had less money when I was working. I worked for Atlanta Public Schools. I also worked as a taxi dispatcher. I was teaching English online for 3 different companies. I had 6 jobs. When I say I had 6 jobs, I had 6 jobs. I was teaching art classes up at the local art center community place, whatever. Like I said, no art background, but they wanted me, they were going to pay me. And everywhere I went, my daughter had to come with me. If my daughter can't come, I can't leave her. It was just me and my child. Her father and I just got to a place where it's stable. Like, she's with him this summer. Well, she spent more time at her godmom house than she has at his house. But for 13 years, it was just me and my daughter. There's no grandma, there's no aunties, there's no uncles. So the financial struggles were real. It was oh, hey, we got a field trip coming up. It's $5. And I'm like, I don't have $5. How am I gonna get my baby to go on this field trip? That's how bad it was. So once I started homeschooling, it seemed like everything fell into place. Like the income got better, the life got a little bit more leisurely. So yes, there was absolutely financial struggles. And then as far as, I'm trying to scroll back up so I don't miss any of these other questions that were in there. I navigated around that because I was raised for survival. Like, that was it. You're going to figure out a way. You're going to find a way to make a way. That's how I was raised. That's not how I'm raising my child. Like, that's absolutely not how I want to raise her. And it took me a long time to be able to lean on people. So when I talk about finding the village, I love saying, find your village, find those people. Because the first time I found my village, and they were always asking me, what do you need? How can I help? I would like shy away from answering. Like, there was an event that my daughter wanted to go to, but I had to work. And so I remember putting in the chat, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta work, so Jayla can't come. And they're like, why don't you just ask one of us to come pick her up? And the thought of asking someone to do something for me that was for my child, like, I was like, I don't really know how to. I didn't know how to say, hey, can one of y'all pick my baby up so she can go to the little Valentine's Day dance that y'all had planned? So it took a while. It took a while to get there. But now that I'm there, if y'all live in Atlanta and we connect, I might just like, hey girl, hey, do your baby want to come hang out with my baby? Do you want to come pick her? I'm all for it now, but it took a long time. Just like with homeschooling, it took me a long time to get out of the mindset. I don't want to say long time. It took like a good year-ish and a half to get out of the mindset that I had to homeschool her the way schools were set up. So like the whole idea of saying like, I put her in school, I didn't like it. I took her out of school because I didn't like it. And now I'm trying to mirror school in my house, even though I didn't like it. And then having those thoughts that come back to thinking, am I doing right? Is she gonna be okay? My answer, yeah, girl, she all right. So yes, all those struggles, financial struggles, navigating through it was just, it's just those things, you know, when we deal with financial problems, we find a way, make a way. So Jay, I will kick that back to you because I know you said you do DoorDash and Instacart, so you're gonna make sure.
Indeed. Yeah. But like I said, with alignment, when you are aligned with your purpose, things work out. I have a friend, and like you said, village too. I told y'all we just moved here from Virginia in September of last year, so it hasn't even been a full year that we've been here. However, since I've been here, I've started hosting community events monthly. With those community events, I also met another community team that hosts events, and they opened a boutique, which they asked me to be a part of. So it's me and them and another young lady who works with them. The boutique, I'm able to bring the girls in there with me because they know I homeschool. So I'm able to bring them in, have them situated, and we're all together still. And in the boutique, I'm able to host workshops. I'm able to host homeschool workshops weekly at their boutique. I'm able to do events, anything I want to do as far as homeschooling and networking and promoting my app. They have a Thursday event, which I'm gonna go to in a little bit, where they have craft night for kids. And in that craft night, of course, I advertise my app and I talk to network with homeschool or network with parents who may be interested in homeschooling. But like you said, Jay, I'm not trying to raise my children in survival mode. I really am not. My girls are in Florida right now with my parents. And I said, with all that I'm gifted with as far as this time, I'm going to use this time to get out of the DoorDashing and the Instacarting because I know I'm being lazy with some things because I'm not good with marketing. I'm not good with I'm not good with selling things in general. I can do and make and create and do all this stuff that I'm purposed to do. But when it comes to actually getting and gaining finances from it, it's like I shy away from it. So I'm trying to use my voice more and I'm trying to activate my lovely throat chakra in the way that I'm supposed to, so that I'm able to be able to be financially secure for my young ladies. Because even though they love the Instacart and because they be the reason why I stay out sometimes as long as I do it. Well, we love this. They just love being on the go in general. So but they love helping me and I love that, but I don't want to raise them in that manner. So when they return, I do want to be at a different place as far as finances go, where I'm able to not be having to Instacart and all that good stuff. But when you, like you said, Jade, when you're able to survive or know survival mode in general, you're going to do what you need to do to be able to do what you want to do for your family. So I have no issue with doing what I need to do for my girls, but I know that I need to push myself out of my comfort zone so that I'm able to do more for us, because it is more for us out there. And I'm just the one holding us back for real. So I'm getting that together, and we're going to talk, Jade, because I need some guidance, but I just know everything comes into alignment with you when you're meant to do, because that boutique is definitely heaven sent, and I'm going to utilize it and network as much as I need to network and do everything that I need to do through it, because it was purpose for me to be able to do that, and I love it. So just trust the process. That's something I said. I've been saying it since 2020. Trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. Like, really.
There, so I saw someone mention Minecraft in the chat box. The only reason I'm gonna jump on this right now is because my baby went through a phase with Minecraft as well. So if all they want to do is play the game, get the books, the Minecraft books. There's the ones that are actually through the series, and then there's the one I can't even remember what they're called because my daughter read them, and then I started reading them too. But they're not written by Minecraft. It's like an individual person does it, so that helps with the reading. They got Minecraft workbooks, so it's math and science, but it's all Minecraft themed. So build around those things. Like if that's what they're really into, just take that as the theme and build around it, make it work, and then just be like, one day they'll get over this. We'll be done with Minecraft soon, or we'll be done with My Love Pony soon. Whatever it is that they're into, because my baby's had all these different phases. And I wrote something down that someone put in the chat box. I have no idea what I wrote down. I don't know what this is. I don't know what I wrote down. I don't know. So I'm gonna go back to the chat box, but I will say one other thing. For marketing, because I had this same experience where it's hard to sell your business. Like I need to make money, but I have to sell this, because then you feel like you are selling something. I'm always talking about, oh yeah, check out my school, I got classes. And I stopped thinking about myself. I'm like, I'm not selling me, I'm selling my class. So when you start thinking about your business, if it's difficult for you to like sell yourself, think about your business. Like, oh yeah, I'm selling my business. Think about how hard you go for other companies that you support and your friends that you support, how hard you will tell people about what they have to offer. Start doing that with your own stuff. Like as soon as I started, it's not easy. It was a little struggle. As soon as I started doing it, people can't keep me out of a room. Look, I'm using my teacher Jade pen right now. Like I'm all about me all the time, because I'm not struggling. I don't want to just be here to survive. I want to enjoy my life. That's what I'm about right now. I should also mention, like when the first year that I tried homeschooling with my daughter, we did the K through 12 program, which is really just school at home. Within 3 months, I sent them people their books back. I said, y'all can have this. I'm like, we're not doing that. Sold everything I owned. If I couldn't give it away, it was going to Goodwill. I gave my friend my car. Like I was done with this world. I was done with the US, and we went abroad for 9 months. And I thought we were going to world school forever. I didn't think we were going to stop. But just as much as I hated routine, I did not like that type of lifestyle. I was like I need regular, like I need to be able to wake up in the same bed for months at a time. So it was pleasant. It was an experience. I enjoyed it, but I had to come back. And I also say during that time, I spent less money than I spend now. Like it's the trappings of our society. That's what we're in. And so that's why those things happen. And I'm talking a lot because I'm trying to scroll through the chat box at the same time and find that comment that I want to comment on.
Yeah, let me speak on the world traveling, because my girls, their big thing right now is us getting an RV. They always, whenever we pass an RV park, they always, RV. And that is a goal, because I'm with the traveling too. I don't want to drive the RV though. That's my whole issue and a little hold up. Like I need a driver, because I don't want to do that part. I want to be chilling in the back with them. But that is so awesome that you went abroad like that, because yeah, that's me. And that's why I call my learning area the forest, because I would be in the forest if it wasn't for them. If it wasn't for my two little ones, I would definitely be a lot more disconnected than I am already, because we don't have a television in our home. So they are at their grandma's living it up on TV, like, hey, we watching this and we watching that. But the TV isn't for me to like disconnect them from things. It's just, I understand programming and I don't want them to partake in that on a regular like that. So on vacation with grandma and stuff, that's fine. I know I'm gonna have a lot of things I need to talk them through once I get them back. But it's all about doing different, because we know better, but it takes a lot for us to do better sometimes. And I'm just for the do better now, because I've been knowing things for way too long for me to keep on trying to pretend like I can't do better. It is a time to do better. And so I'm here for it. I'm here. That's one of my favorite. I'm here for it. I am.
I'll say this, Jay, if you can rent an RV for a week, take your babies out on the road and see how quickly they tell you, never mind. Real quick. quick.
Oh, I already know, because when I took them to Florida, I drove them to Florida. However, I'm flying there and flying back this time because my leg, I'm a little older, so I can't be doing that all too often. But we were gonna take a train at first. I was, oh yeah, we can take a train. But then I said, no, y'all not ready for that. Because the train ride is 3 days. And I said, we not about to be in that little area for 3 days. I'm not about to do that to myself. I need y'all to grow a bit more. Because like I said, they 5 and 8 and their energy levels on go at all times. So I couldn't imagine what they would do with a train ride right about now. So yes, we should rent an RV for a week. That would be very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
And you don't even have to go anywhere. Leave it on the street. Just live it for a week. Just live it.
I know, just that small air. I know. Yeah.
I want to kind of there's a question here, and I want to throw it back to everyone. It said it was about handwriting and frustration. That's the 2 words I wrote down. So I probably will say this wrong, but it said, my child gets frustrated with their handwriting and it gets frustrated. How do you handle that? So as a collective, y'all could just throw y'all's best advice in the chat box about how you deal with your child's frustration. Because I'm sure me and Jake both tell you what we do with our frustrated children, but there's a lot of us in here. So somebody's gonna say something that's gonna be like, oh, that's the answer. That's what I need to do. Because me and my daughter are way too much alike. And so when she gets frustrated, I walk away. And that's not the best answer. Like it's the good answer for me because how I'm going to respond, but it's not the best answer for her because I'm not going to help her. So we do this thing. I always forget the name of it. It's like this strategy where, we don't do it the right way. I shouldn't say we do it our way. We do it the way that works best for us, but we will set a timer. So if there's something that we're working on, we're frustrated, we'll set a timer for 20 or 30 minutes and forget it. Like just go do something else. It doesn't matter if I want to lay on the floor. I'm going to not do that thing. And then I come back to it. So that's what works for both of us because that's just been my answer.
I love that. That's good. Yes, no, I love taking that. Let's break. Yes, no, we go to the park. I told you nature is my thing. When I have to reset or just get back, realign, let's go to the park, y'all. Let's go walk it out. Let's go play it out. Let's go sit and ground it out. However it needs to be. Let's just get out this house because we're not gonna do this. That goes back to my threats of I'm gonna send you to public school. My first couple months here, math was like I was trying to sit them down to do math. And it wasn't our thing. Math isn't my thing. And I think with me expressing them and they know that, it became not really their thing, but they prefer math sometimes over reading. So it all depends on the day, really. However, walking away, like Jay, walking away is a big thing. Just, hey, let's reset because we don't have to figure this out right now. Like there's not a timetable that's telling us, oh, you got to get this concept right now, or we can't do nothing. No, you can pause, take a break. You can go do some research and figure out some other ways to approach the situation or the concept in general. Find some YouTube videos that may explain a little bit better, just anything besides sitting there and continually being frustrated. As far as handwriting, the more you do it, the better it's going to get. So just keep on writing and write with different utensils. Don't just do pencils, do pens, do markers, do chalk, do anything as far as writing go. Have them paint sometimes, but just keep switching it up and keep making it okay for him to understand that, baby, there is no perfect handwriting. There is no perfect handwriting. Your handwriting is going to get better the more you write. My 5-year-old is not a fan of writing, but she writes, in my opinion, better than my 8-year-old, for real. But I believe Kenny's more creative and artsy. So her words, and she likes to do cursive. So we have a little cursive, dry erase. Do dry erase. Just give different alternatives to the writing if it is a frustrating place for him. And he may find a great utensil because I'm a big fan of stationery in general. So I love using different types of pens. And some pens make me write real pretty, like real nice. So just keep switching up the utensils and seeing what all fits him. But it's okay to walk away.
Yeah, Jay, when you just said that, I also read what Carlos wrote in the chat box and said, you might not be able to do it yet, but basically like saying you'll get better at it. And here I am over here trying to look at my scribble scrabble, trying to see what notes I wrote down so I can make sure I don't miss anybody in the chat box. Like,
yes, when you couldn't figure out what you wrote, that was really funny.
I'm like, it might get better, but so there was something else that was over here in the chat box. I want to make sure I didn't skip or miss. And thank y'all so much for giving all the advice also over there in the chat box. Oh, Kendra, I saw it. I feel the same way. There are days where it's just, sometimes it's like things come at the exact right time. So you being here, that's probably like the inspiration that you need right now. I'm like, okay, I got this, that uplifting that you need. So I'm glad that you're here and experiencing that, because I'm just patiently waiting for tomorrow to do this dual enrollment session. I'm gonna do it with my camera off so y'all won't see me crying about my baby.
And big shout out to Miss Kendra Price. You know, she has a homeschool podcast that she let me be a guest on. I appreciate her so much. And she has so much advice to share with the homeschool community. So Kendra, you're amazing.
Yes. All right. So I found it. So the thing I want to mention for all those who want to start a business or thinking about starting a business, and Jay, you also made me think about that too when you said I take my children with me. Think about how your children can help in your business. Like that can absolutely help. There was points where I would undo what my daughter did until I need to redo it a different way, just so that she would have something to do. Like it didn't matter. Like I'm like, hey baby, can you go put these books up and can you color code them? Because I'm a visual person. I need my books in color coded order. And then the next I'm like, you think you can put them in alphabetical order? Like I would find tasks for her to do just because I needed to get some work done. But now that she's older, I can actually have her do work for me. So Khadijah, you were talking about the video I made an IG reel where I was really excited about my baby getting the hell out of my house because I needed a break. But she did the editing for me. She did all the edits for me. So that's something that she's really skilled at. And so for my marketing campaigns, it's reels on Instagram. I don't know how y'all feel about doing that, like TikToks and reels. I don't like any of it, but I do it. And she does all my edits. That is her skill set. She knows how to do it better than I can. So I just get her involved and I find ways that she can assist me in making sure that my business is businessing and doing what needs to get done. So if you can find ways to get them involved, and that's something that they get to look at. They get to see you. Like I said, I wasn't raised around people who have businesses. So my daughter gets to see that. And she's not gonna know what a job is. She don't know what self-employment looks like, because that's all she ever talks about is her doggy hotel that she's on.
I think that's a wonderful idea, like, by the way. That is beautiful. Yes. But these kids are smart. That's why I call them young learners, because it's like they have big spirits in my mind. Like, I be like, I don't know where my 5-year-old came from, because she be throwing up Black Power fists in some of our pictures and everything. And I'm just like, yo, who are you? Yo, wait a minute. Who did they send me? Because this is powerful. But they're so smart. They're so smart. And that's why I frown upon public school, because they're so limited there and they're not able to express all that they have inside of them in that type of structure. But at home, oh no, let them shine. Let them shine. Let them do any and everything that they are able to do, and keep encouraging more. Definitely business wise.
And so we know we did a whole lot of talking, a whole lot of talking. It is time for us to start to wrap it up. So we're just gonna give y'all some final little piece of information. So Jay, I'll ask you like one piece of advice you would give to parents that are homeschooling as single parents, and then how can they find you? Where are you at? What's those handles? Tell them about your app again.
My one piece of advice will always be trust the process. Like, trust that you are qualified, trust that you got it, you have the answers, believe in yourself, trust the process. And I'm gonna keep it short because I don't want to go all long. But you can find me Homeschool Yo Kids. I have an Instagram, Homeschool Yo Kids. I know Miss Khadija, I'm thinking about getting it tattooed on me, honestly. Trust the process is really deep with me. But homeschool your kids, everything. Homeschool your kids at gmail.com if you want to email and reach out. And I'm always open to, I talk to everyone. Like I said, I love people and I want people to always understand and believe in themselves because you are amazing. Everyone is amazing. Everyone is purposeful, what they're purpose for. It's just, we got to believe in ourselves. And so I'm all for talking, coaching, all that good stuff. I will talk you right on into this whole process of you like, yes. I was just on Facebook Messenger with somebody the other day, like, girl, you got it. You got it. So if you ever need anything, reach out. Definitely. My homeschool app, Homeschool Yo Kids, is on Apple and Google Play. So definitely download that. Plenty of resources. Anyone who wants to add resources, anyone who has content or anything, just email and reach out and I will put your content up there definitely, because I want to be able to help and assist anyone getting their brand out there. Miss Jade, I want to, put your services up there also. But I appreciate anyone who's looking to embark on this journey. Trust the process. You got it, because it wouldn't be placed in you if it was not meant for you. So keep on going, keep on trusting. Take it away, Jade. I'm muting.
Okay. I'm gonna add a different piece of advice. So I know a lot of the stuff we talked about was for the kids. So my piece is gonna be for parents. Don't forget to give yourself breaks. Like that's probably the one thing I needed. I need to give myself breaks. So when I walk away from my baby, it's because I need to walk away from her. So don't forget to give yourself grace. Take those breaks. I can be found at www.teacherjade.com. I have writing classes for youth ages 8 to 18, but I also have another business where I teach people how to teach online and how to create online profitable classes. I have a 3-series workshop coming up next week, and they're working workshops. That means you're getting online with me and you're going to do the work while you're there, because a lot of people, I'll tell them what to do. I'll check in with them a week. I haven't started. Oh no, okay, we're going to do it now. So they're working workshops where you have to do the work while you're there. So by the time the workshop session is over, you have something tangible that you can use. I'm also on Facebook. If you ever have questions about homeschooling stuff, you can just DM me, because I'm always thumbing on there like, oh, let me tell you how to do this. Let me help you out. So anything related to homeschooling, I'm always down and open. And also, before we wrap it up, Khadija, thank you so much for having us and having this, because even though I'm here right now speaking to y'all, I sit in all the other sessions, I'm just like, what can I learn today? What can I take in? Because it's just so much. We're never done. We're always learning. So I appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone who came in and listened to us talk.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Khadija, for including me on this panel. I appreciate you so much. I really do. Because like I said, I'm trying to activate that throat chakra. So like this was a great learning opportunity. And I am also in all the panels learning and just listening and taking it all in, because learning and growing is the mission.